toward the last, and I will have to learn a lot things from you. And to start with, let us move to Professor Ranjit Ghosh sir to initiate the discussion. I request Dr. Ghosh to have some observations, comments, and questions. And as Dr. TPS is saying, he will be loving to have beautiful questions, because that is how he sees life. Because he wants beautiful questions, because that keeps him learning. He has never said that he has learned, even though he's the wisest person here in the platform, but still he says he wants to learn. That shows his attitude to life, that shows his attitude to learning, and that should be the culture of any guru. That is how a guru should be. So these are the steps which he has shown us, and we should learn from him. So with this, let us move to Dr. Ghosh for the questions. Namaskar.
Thank you, Dr. Rao. Let us all congratulate Dr. Shashi Kumar for giving this small and beautiful lecture on the karma theory. Now, the thing is, my observation on an emphasis also, which he has pointed out, should be taken into account. And the first one is action with freedom. This normally, when we discuss Gita, we just bypass this freedom aspect. So action with freedom, this is one important thing that he is making, bringing us to the forefront. And the other one is when he says that we want more and more of Arjunas and not Krishnas. That is also another important thing that he is pointing out. Now the thing is, when, in my opinion, and since he is a scholar of Gita as well, he can give his response on it. Because you see, what I have gathered from his lecture, it reminds me of Tilak's interpretation of Gita Rahasya. And there he, in single sentence, what he says, that in order to understand Karma Yoga, we have to take into account Karma Yoga as a Jnana Bhakti Samannita Karma Yoga. So that it will, when we are putting Jnana to the first, then we decide, we can apply all the choices, our choices, whether we should do it or do not do it, that level comes from the Jnana. And when that is finalized, what we should do, then we put our efforts in the form of a bhakti to it, and ultimately that karma becomes a niskama karma. So this is, I think, the sum and substance of domain and dynamism of karma. And what is your response on this? Thank you.
I think I just mentioned chapter 4 in that context, because that is what probably the essence of Bhagavad Gita as explained by Tilak. He talked about action, he rejects the renunciation part of it, and actively engage in the duties around you. That is what is Nishkama Karma, which he mentions. Beautifully given by Tilak. And that what he thinks is the Rahasya of Gita, which emphasizes Karma Yoga in the path of selfless action, always have that action which is performed with a lot of devotion, with the bhakti. And what is that bhakti? Probably need not be with the God. The bhakti which ensures my selfless action, what is being benefited for the people around me. That is what I also mentioned, you should have yena kena prakarena yasya kasyapi dehinaha sandosham janayat pratna tadaivam ishwara pujanam. That is what is more essential. So you will see in the 4th chapter, Bhagavan says, to get out of your prarabdha karma, the prarabdha karma, probably all that selfish activity which you are forced to do in the world, you have got the sagaram, and your knowledge becomes the plavam for that. The knowledge becomes the boat in which you can just cross. Therefore, the boat is what is knowledge there. So you don't even have to touch. You don't even have to touch what is not required for you. Correct? Abhichedasi vapebhyaha sarvebhyaha papa krittamaha sarvam jnana plavenaiva. Like a boat you can cross this problem. Vyajinam sandarishyasi. But he did not say there and stop there. There could be some activity in which you are forced to get into the domain in which you are working, and it cannot be just using a boat crossing the river. You are already in the water. That sort of a situation comes. You are already in a situation where you cannot cross it like crossing a river with a boat. What is to be done? The next sloka, the 4th chapter, 37th says, Yadhaidvamsi samsiddho agnir. Your knowledge becomes an agni there. The first knowledge becomes a boat. Without touching it, you can just go cross it. No. Here it says, the papa, whatever being done, if that affects your karma, what is to be done? Burn it. Because knowledge becomes the agni for you. Basmal kurude Arjuna. Nana agni. Nanam becomes an agni here. Sarva karmani. All the action what you do with that devotion, where every consequence you can fire it. Bhasmat kurude tada. Each place. And 38th sloka what he says? Nehi nanena sadrusham pavitramiha vidyade tat swayam yoga samsiddha kalen atmani vindadi. Not enough. That is where he says Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. So without jnanam you cannot do karma. Therefore karma, and most essentially any karma which you do, Bhagavan Krishna wanted Arjuna to get into the war, and the 42nd sloka, the end of the chapter, he says Adhishtotishta Bharadaha. Bharada, you get up and then start fighting. Before that what he says? Do it with all devotion. Why? Devotion. Shraddha, you want to be concentrating to somebody else, you should have devotion. You should have bhakti to your guru. Bhakti to the master only get attracted to the master. When you get attracted to the master, then only Shraddha comes. When only Shraddha comes, you get Jnana. So, Jnana, Bhakti, Karma cannot be just driven away. I just mentioned the chapter title saying that the 4th chapter, Jnana, Karma, Sannyasa, Yoga is important. And I am sure our great interpreter of Bhagavad Gita, Tilak himself, totally dependent on 4th chapter, gave this beautiful, and I must thank Professor Ranjit Ghosh for my one sentence mention. You made me to elaborate further, and I am gifted quite a lot with your questionnaire. Pranam sir, namaskaram to you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for the beautiful response. Sir, one thing, sir, as you said as you mentioned in the lecture, that the society, the present society, is confronted with lot of problems, and we don't have Arjunas. But I feel the society is filled with lot of Arjunas, but we are failing to have real Krishnas. So this is how I see, because the Arjunas are there. Because as you said, that there are no people, there are no students coming up with real questions. When you give a lecture, you do find even the students are not coming up with questions. That inquisitiveness is not coming out. So we do have Arjunas, but here the Arjuna is expressing, but I don't know what the situation is. Whether we have failing Arjunas or whether we have failing Krishnas. So how do you see, sir, where we are failing?
See, that's a beautiful question. Professor, what we think today is the new education policy is trying to make a lot of differences. There is nothing new. What we should understand is there is nothing new. Still we are teaching the same methodology what is being followed after our independence. We have not gone back to the Indian system. The Indian system is not acceptable today. What is the Indian system? We had small cluster of schools up to age 3 to grade 3. Grandma Child Care Shiksha Gurukulam. That's my concept of education. And my concept of education is be elemented. Look at all the Panchabhutas. Understand what is around you. Learn the world in the childhood. That is the time when you should have touch with the ground. Once you don't touch the ground during the childhood, what will happen? And what is being happening in the LKG, UKG with 40 students and with all the dressed up style? What is the word which all the teachers are asking the students to follow? The word which is maximum used in any classroom is keep quiet, silent. When you are asking somebody to keep quiet, tell me Krishna never asked Arjuna to keep quiet. If you would have asked to keep quiet, one sloka Bhagavad Gita have been over. But Bhagavad Gita is not over in one sloka because he entertained Arjuna asking lot of questions. Every child is born with a lot of curiosity. He wants to ask a lot of questions. But today we are not allowing children to ask questions. I keep learning. We are only copying. We are all copycats. We are copying from the West. And we talk about 21st century education. Tell me what is century? Century is 100 years. Are we talking about an education system for 100 years in the new education policy? No, we should talk about the next 5 years what will happen to our children. That's why the dynamism. That's why I said when we said dynamic domain, the domain has changed. The world has changed, technology has changed. So the domain has changed, the dynamism has happened, lot of things are happening around. Are we not the people responsible for changing the education system? Where should we start it? Why children are not asking questions today? They don't bother what's happening around. They want to just get a certificate and come out. They want to get a job to make money. And once this job is not there, they know there is another job waiting for them. They don't worry, they want only salary. So this has become the day. That is why I write all my books under the name of 3-2-1 world. What is 3-2-1 world? Third decade of 21st century. I am only talking about what is to be done for the next 5 years. Can we make a difference in next 5 years in education system? Tell me. Then I am sure there will be a lot of change in the generations to come. What happened? 3 years of COVID has changed many people into depression because the social activity has stopped. Why? I get calls from people who are all mothers of young children. The mother themselves is in depression. They have no freedom. Two things are essential. We need liberty, freedom, and also we need a lot of courage. And this we have to get into the children from the young childhood, age 3 to grade 3. That is the time we should change. So I have written many books on psychological aspect of these children where things can be changed and where it should start. It has to be there in the mother. If mother has no freedom, liberty, thoughts in their womb, when the child is in the womb, definitely they will not have. So the care should start from the womb. So we need to have an Ayurveda care for the people who are carrying. We need to change their thought process. A lot of examples are there in Mahabharata. Why we are not able to follow and take it? It is not what is can be discussed in the seminars and webinars. It has to be implemented practically in classrooms. I am looking forward for some government. It's very difficult for us to implement because all private schools won't implement because they are looking for money. If you tell that take away your classrooms up to age 3, grade 3, that is where they will take a lot of donations and money, appoint somebody who are not much educated so that they can control the children. Good teachers will never ask the students to keep quiet. The worst teachers cannot answer most of the questions they want. What is it being done? I speak to young early childhood educators forum. I used to have a lot of sessions. I asked them, what is your problem? They always say, I am not able to control my children. I said, why are you controlling your children? See, we are talking about liberty, we are talking about action, we are talking about the creativity, we are talking about thinking, we are thinking of all this. No, thinking and creativity never comes with control. We are talking about controlling situation. So the problem is at the root we have not corrected our system. We will not be able to change them. So that is what I am looking for. It is not that what I wrote. I wrote 4 books, A to Z of early childhood education. And early childhood education has to be implemented in a different direction. Then only these things will happen on the ground. So the domain has to change. The change has to happen in the way which we are changing. Nothing has changed. You go to any private school, is there any change happened after NEP? Nothing has changed. LKG runs LKG. They have added nursery also inside now because government is given sanction from 3 age onwards. And now, is there a change in the government schools? Nothing have changed. So private schools are not changed. Government schools are not changed. So where is going to change? What is going to happen in this? So we need actions. That is what I keep roaming around the country like this, collecting small group of people and educating them to change. Don't change your classroom, but one day you change your classroom. One day you can make small difference in your classroom. I am sure parents will accept, people will accept, teachers will accept, students will accept. So small change can happen. That's a great movement which is to be done in this. So you asked a very beautiful question. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for a beautiful response. Thank you so much. You carry a lot of energy. That energy has to be infused in the modern day teachers. This energy is missing again, I think. Thank you so much, sir, for the response. Now let us move to Dr. Radhanath Bera, sir, but I request him to be pinpointed because we wish to listen to Dr. DrTPS in full. Sir, please have some pinpoints. Please. Namaskar, sir, please.
Namaskar. Thank you, sir. Sir, my question is, NEP 2020, it's all good. It has its own aim and ambition, visualizing the transformation, mapping the problems right at the source, that is at the KG level, and so on and so forth. Now, once you inculcate moral education, ask them to be good, to behave good, and so on and so forth. As a teacher, giving enough freedom to my students, I felt they were eager enough to learn more. But still then, once they leave the portals of the college, high school, or even primary school, they enter into a different domain. To put it in your words, the domain may not be suitable to them. And with all these sorts of moral education, purity of mind, and cleanness in thinking, they enter into a different world of ours, full of sheer selfishness and corruption. Can you check it? Just because you have started them with a clean slate of mind and they enter into this dirty world of ours, can there be no change? How your dynamism will work? Please answer.
See, probably what is lacking in all of us is not the moral education. Moral education in a engineering college, the AICT also started implementing moral education for the BTech students. I was also a faculty there for giving some lectures. When the new circular comes, everybody does it. And we have a Indian knowledge system, IKS. I must have given hundreds of lectures all throughout the India. But that doesn't make a real implementation of appreciating, because it is not there as a sole system. We always have children. You go to every nook and corner of India. You go to Punjab, you will see maximum number of boards, the big boards, the display systems. What it says is, you have to go to Canada, you have to go to Finland, you have to go to Singapore. Lot of people want to migrate from this country. You have to go to USA. Now you have got lot of series coming with the internet, with a lot of access to the Netflix, Amazon Prime, everything. We have a lot of people who are following Korea. So what happens? Your value system, what you think Indian value system, is not applicable to the next generation. They are exposed to the world. They are looking at what is happening, the lifestyle of them. And our new education policy is not always saying that Indian system is good. We say go to Finland. You know what Delhi government has done? Delhi government has sent all the teachers to Finland to learn early childhood education. Is it not a shame for India, such a large country, who has got a different climate situation, and Finland with a different climate which doesn't work in the time frame of what India is working, and the geography is different, history is different, culture is different, and teacher goes there to learn what is the value system to be implemented, what is the education system to be implemented. What we need is a India-centric education. India-centric education is also not just teaching yoga, where 3 months you learn yoga and then start teaching and you become an yoga acharya. No, it has to be the parampara. The Bharatiya Jnana parampara has to be followed thoroughly. Ayurveda, Vedic mathematics, all these we have, but all these are only in words, but in action at the childhood level itself we should have. That's why I said I have written from the early childhood pregnancy onwards up to the highest education. I was part of the university. So the India-centric education at the ancient learning traditions which we have, the holistic multidisciplinary approach which we have, all these have to come part of our life. So the global knowledge is essential, but you have to have a local standing. The then what will happen is we will get a leadership in the global knowledge. The knowledge system should grow in our own land with our own experience, our own style. Then only we can become Vishwaguru. We are telling one way we want to be the global knowledge leader, and we are sending our teachers to Finland to learn education. You tell me, where does it match? It doesn't match. The new education policy will not get implemented. That is one of the things which I am so happy about it. But I am sure people spend a lot of money. You know, you have education tourism now. There are a lot of organizations, there are a lot of NGOs, there are a lot of private education selling people who will all talk about this and then say they conduct a trip to Netherlands, where the freedom for the students is there. Go to Switzerland, then go to South Korea, go to Japan, go to Singapore, go to Finland and learn about education. You think that anything what they learn it can be implemented here. So the new education policy as a policy was good, but we have unnecessarily copied into different things, because the committee itself is not what is really worth for doing it. Most of the time what happens is the committee itself is those people who are not dynamically active in politics, need to be engaged in something. And unfortunately my own chairman, when I was in Department of Space, Kasturi became the chairman. I don't think he have a taste of a knowledge of educating children. He has got a knowledge for something else, but not educating children. And he is not having the taste of looking after children from the age 3 to the highest level. And that needs a different taste. We need people who will really understand the ethics, cultural wisdom, modern challenges. Yes, modern challenges probably he understands the highest level. And that makes your righteous people in the human being human, social being social. If that is to be done, it has to start from age 3, and new implementation, few volunteers and few people who are, we have got a lot of people, dynamic people who are jobless. But we need a system. What happens in India, unless it comes from government, unless it comes from a series of people, it doesn't get accepted. Because we don't have a system in which marketing is too much. So we have to fight with the marketing people, for which we need large resources. This is what I think where the NEP has failed. Yes, failed. Will it get implemented? I don't think a change will happen. Again we will talk about it. Same thing happened in UNDP in the United Nations. UNDP in the 1970s. Now today you are calling it as SDG, Sustainable Development Growth. There is no difference. 2015 to 2030 it has to get implemented. Now today 2025 also we are talking about implementation. Nothing has been done. Why? Because we keep talking about it, nothing implements. So 2030 it will stop. Again some other system will come with a new name. So I wrote a book on SDG, and that book is Sustainable Development Growth Goal is not SDG. Sanatana Dharma Goals. Sanatana Dharma Goals is SDG for me. So I wrote a book of 108 policies which contain a lot of value system which is to be implemented in the society. The parents get educated. I have written a book on psychology for the parents, psychology for the adolescents, psychology for the young children, for those who have to get guidance from the teachers and parents. So we need to have students, parents and teachers together. That's why name is also TPS, teachers, parents, students. That's my name. I am DrTPS. Okay. So I am actively involved in this. That's only one thing which I do in my life is only this now. Nothing else. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for reminding.
Sir, one more question.
Yeah.
In the IAS Academy,
Mm.
there is a motto,
Mm.
Yoga Karmasu
Kaushala.
Skill is action.
Yeah.
Skill in action.
Yeah.
Right? But once they come out of the portals of the great institute, look at the scenario, they either fall prey to corruption or become the his master's works.
Mm.
Politicians control them,
Mm.
they lose originality
Mm.
and waste time and energy and money and do their own thinking.
Mm.
What is to be done? Number two,
Mm.
as you said, engineering students, I was associated with some of them. Now, one director of IIT, particularly of South India, probably it is in Madras, he said, when our graduates come out of IIT, the institutes, they have one leg on Indian soil, the other leg on Air India, that is to fly out. If that is the scenario, how much of money is spent to produce an IITian just because he would go for this falling prey to a brain drain? If that happens, all these systems, all our educating values will slowly go down the drains. So, how do you look at it?
See, I was also part of engineering college. I was an executive director of an engineering college. I was also a management professor in an engineering college for a few years as tenure. I understand what's happening in the, I keep saying, making better jokes saying that Mahatma Gandhi told to quit India and then all the BTech people are quitting India today. So,
Right.
so this is part of a great joke. But I'll tell you, in the IAS training situation, we have got the Karma Yoga, which is given important ethical efficiency and all the resilience and the balance of, and the duty becomes not that personal interest, it has to be on the side, all that policies. And our selections in IAS is so fantastic because I was part of Cabinet Secretariat. I was Deputy Director in the Cabinet Secretariat. So I understand what happens in the Manmohan Singh's time and how the India is being ruled. Don't think it is done by politicians. It's all done by executives only. So systematic activity is happening in our administration. So administration is so tactfully, beautifully maintained perfectly well. There are few people for their favor. They go to the politician, they listen to the politicians. And why people don't get into civil service with all the greatness? That is because we don't have DrTPS Civil Service Prelims Handbook. Look at, I have got students getting into the system. I am pursuing people to get into it with a lot of values. The next month, the same time, I will be in Kerala with a school where we wanted to train a lot of people or aspirants for civil service at least. And the reason is not the political situation, corruption and all that. The reason is people are so lazy and they wanted a system which is in front of you where you can get in and have a peaceful life. So here we have a lot of problems. We are still a developing country. We have a lot of population. India's problem is not education, not pollution, not controlling the corruption and all that. Our problem is only population. If India had less number of people and we have got a beautiful population which can be controlled and handled by the people around, and India would have been one of the successful country. And the money which is being driven by few number of people who are very politically influential, they are creating problems. That means social justice is not there. So these needs lot of time to change. But politics is the problem, not the administration. And we cannot get out of politics because they are people representative. So we need people who are logically correct, intellectually correct, academically they are educated. What is happening today? You have got certification but not education. We don't understand what is to be done. We are in the hands of people with the power grid and they have no sense and they will have in the wrongdoing, and this peer pressure, the lifestyle demands among the people make them to go abroad so that they will become happy sometime. But I am sure they are not happy there. All of them wanted to come back and serve India. They wanted to be part of India. They want to learn culture. But They have to be here without fear, without the administrative constraints which they have. So maybe some liberalization in starting the entrepreneurship and such things. Definitely I am hopeful and think that it will come. Sooner or later the society will come back to the culture. I am always with a lot of positive mind. I don't think the disaster is going to happen. I always feel there will be a change and people will come back. We can fix all the problems, and maybe we don't have the strict punishment. Transparency is not there. The whistleblower for all the protection is not there. The public vigilance and awareness is not there. The moral and ethical reinforcement is not happening the way it has to happen. The merit-based promotions are not happening. These are all essential. We cannot do it because of the political situation. I'm traveling to Gulf most of the time. I see, when somebody have a penalty of wrong driving, my penalty may be 1,000 dirhams. But the person who is driving has to go and stand in the queue and pay the money for 10 days, 100 dirhams each. Because you have crossed the signal to save 1 second or 2 seconds. The penalty is 10 days, you are wasting half an hour for this. That's a punishment. It is not the money. So we cannot have such punishments in this country. I am sure if you have such punishments, very thorough punishments, India will become best. So it is the political will. Judiciary is great, politics is great. Luckily, understand, don't compare with the most developed countries. We are almost equal to Pakistan in terms of a newly born country. It's only one night difference. You can see what turmoil happens in Pakistan, and what turmoil happens in Afghanistan, what turmoil happens in Sri Lanka, and these are all smaller countries. As a big country without turmoil, as a union government with all the state governments together, running a government is not a small joke. I was at the highest office with the Prime Minister and I know how difficult and how things happen. We must salute all of them for the great work. There are few people who are corrupt, there are few systems which are not good, but as a whole, India is growing, India will become great, India's flag is going higher and higher, and that is why I am sure when the Prime Minister of India goes to America, why President is taking care of him, why our Foreign Minister gets the first seat in the oath taking ceremony, that is because India is one of the greatest country. Why India is able to talk to China, why India is able to talk to Russia. Economically we are growing, powerful we are growing, so we have a great future. India has a great future means Indian people also have a great future. So it is not that dramatically bad. I am saying not good. We always have got a small chance to improve. So that is only what we are discussing. So I never say that India is a bad country and people should go. People should go, and I am sure the money should come. There is a beautiful sloka which says, lot of people from India went abroad. It is like the ocean water getting evaporated and going to the sky. Again the water will come back and fill the ocean only. So a lot of people go back from India to different countries. I am sure all the money comes back to India only. Because all of them are paid well. They are not going to make a lot of palaces there. I am sure all the money comes back to India and then we are all rich. And education is not given to get a job. We don't have to be desperate. All the BTech is not getting a job. When I was a professor of MBA, I used to tell, I am sure none of my students who are sitting in this class probably get a job. But your mother was only a third class dropout. But you have a feeling saying that my mother did not get educated. Your children can tell my mother is an MBA. That is enough. That is why most of the government is giving free education. Andhra Pradesh government was giving free education for all the girls. Engineering colleges, all the professional degrees were free there. Bus transport was given free. So I am sure we have to empower women, empower girl children, so that tomorrow many of them will come into the forefront. The world will change. That's what I am looking at. Probably needs a lot of changes, and that will happen.
Sir, sorry, one request to you that you are having a large field of activity. Try to find out some means how to instill Rashtravad in all the students, all your students in it. So in that way, I think many of the problems that you are talking about right now and Professor Behra said, one the foot is on India and the other one is Air India, that will stop because every family, you see, in every family, we have to see, we have to try our children to demotivate them to go outside because India is having ample opportunities. And you see, I'm talking about my own children. I have always demotivated them. One is from NIT and the other one is from here, but they are here and they are at times they feel very dejected that they are facing all sorts of problems. You see, they going to the office and coming back, all these things. So we are having many the lacunae here, but still still we are. I always used to say that you are because you are an Indian and you are here. So that is how all of us should try to instill this type of Rashtravad in our own circle, so that gradually the things have changed. You must be observing more than me, because these days I am seeing many of them because of this startups and etc. They are doing it here. They are not very much keen to go outside. But the only thing, the human nature, that is the materialistic culture, that is the problem, because human breed, this young generation, India is now the full of youngest the population, and they are not so very they are not in the right path, I should say, because the easy money, how to get the things easily. This means
understood. Ranjit ji,
yeah.
2 months back, 1.5 months back, I was there in Kerala in a place, and I wanted to stay in the village which is called Kumbanad, Kumbanad. Look at it in the Google. Look at, there is a BBC documentary made out of the Kumbanad. The reason is every bank has got a branch there, and there are no youngsters, no children, no schools are running because everybody is abroad, and no police cases for last few years because all of them are elderly people. I stayed in that place just to see the life there. It's like a dead life or a graveyard world, but everybody has money. You know, there are crores of rupees in the bank where there are no claim. They're all dead accounts because people have sent money, everybody has gone, and many of the houses are getting abandoned. Nobody will be there to stay, no claim, because all of them settled there. And I will tell you, if all the people who are in abroad from India comes back to India, India will have more problem. So I wish all of them go abroad and settle. Let have few people who are, see, once Chinmaya said, it is not people who quit Hinduism and go to different religion I am worried about. I am worried about only those people who are in Hindus and being Hindu here. Similarly, let people go abroad. Let them send money. Let me enjoy what I have from my children who are in abroad. I will do a better job. I am able to do social service going around here because I am being served by people who are in abroad funding me. Otherwise, DrTPS cannot travel in all these places just like this, I am sure. So my funding comes from the people who have gone abroad and then serving me. They are doing a great justice to the country. Number one. Number two, I have been traveling. Now, next month I am traveling to UK. And they celebrate all the culture, all the activities, all the celebrations are the Indian fashion. That is why we are able to install prayers in different countries in their parliament. The Indian prayers are being chanted. We have got global situation now. That is why Indians are ruling the other country. That's why we have in the palaces and the presidents who are all dedicated to Indians. So I am sure we are not in a wrong way. Let our people go. See, Vivekananda got accounted. We started celebrating him only after he comes back. DrTPS never taught Bhagavad Gita here to start with. I taught in America only. You look at Chinmaya, he taught in America only. Swami Bhuva taught yoga in America only. We have got a lot of people who went there, started there, Once they get recognized, no, I am sure you will come here. That is why we quote most of the time the American and British and English, right? So I am sure by virtue for giving lot of people to go abroad is not wrong. We have got Sam Petroda, he came back from India for some time, but he couldn't survive here. We have got Sarabhai, who was from there. Homi Bhabha is from there. All the Department of Space, Department of Energy people, all of them were in abroad. The professors came to India to serve India again back. So I am sure when we need, they will come back to us. But we need a great political will to say that you come back to India and serve, we will take it. And you know, Modi started a new initiative. There is a lateral entry in civil service now. You have been working in America in a great company for 15 years and then you are well recognized there. You can write a All India service at the later age, after 30 also and 35 also, and then join the Indian service and become at the highest level. So it's a great initiative. I think I am sure to use the brightest of the brightest people in back to India, India will find some methods of doing it. And we will have it. We will have it definitely. If Nehru has done it, the Rajiv Gandhi has done it, now Modi is also doing it. So I am positive about that also. Let us celebrate. Let us celebrate what is happening around.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your positivity. Actually, whatever is happening, let it happen. It is happening for the good. So this is also a message from the Gita. What is happening, let it happen. It's all for us. So it's
Yadha yadha hi dharmasya glanir bharata. What we should think, he will appear and then do what we wanted, right? He will come at the right time.
very nice. Thank you. So we have with us a lot number of people. May I request Dr. Roy, Amit Roy, if he has anything in mind that he can have a question. Yes, Dr. Roy.
Sir, wonderful. Probably a very weak word to describe your lecture. Such a nice speech, such a beautiful learning, so much from it. But sir, my thirst has not yet been quenched. I want to know more about the concept of Tandava of Shiva.
Tandavam is the cosmic dance of Shiva, in which there is a laya, a rhythm that is in the meditation samadhi level. So what happens is, when we do any action, who is Shiva's wife, that is Parvati. Parvati is Shakti. Doing all the action in the day, if you are not tired and still dynamic at the end of the day, the Parvati is still with you, the energy is still with you. What we can do is that dance with ecstasy. That method of getting into the Tandavam, which is the blissful dance, it is not the physical, it is the feeling, the joy, which we can see in Chidambaram, where we are in Tamil Nadu. And the cosmic harmony around me, that's the Rudra Tandavam. When the dance becomes totally destructive, that means anything negative is there, I will be able to kill that. So we have Ananda Tandavam, probably which we can see in the Chidambaram, the Rudra Tandavam, the Sandhya Tandavam, the dusk, the evening, the colorful evening, which makes me happy to see the day is going to end, I can have a peaceful sleep. The associated with all the energy levels, the Kalika Tandavam, the god Kali. The Kalika Tandavam is the Kali. Kali in the full bliss, all the energy is given to the Bhagavati. And that sort of a feeling when you have. And Tripura Tandavam, we have got all these different styles in which that energy which we have can be exposed into a different style, and that is what is Tandavam. So when I become successful, when I become fulfilled, on the end of the day, if I can go for a peaceful sleep, Samadhi state, morning Brahma wakes me up and Vishnu makes me to do a lot of actions, and at the end I should have a blissful sleep. And that blissful sleep comes only when I am in total enjoyment, and that any enjoyment represented is with Utsavam. Utsavam, Ulsavam. Ulsavam is always dance. And that's what Tandavam should have. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's a beautiful question.
Thank anyone if they carry any question in mind, they are welcome to have a question. I'll wait for half a minute. Well, I see Dr. Prashant Sukla has joined. He's an expert in Greek philosophy, and let him have his observations on. He was there. He left for a while. He will be back. I request him to have his observation or some question on the talk of Dr. DrTPS. Namaskar, sir. Please.
Namaskar, sir. Sir, first of all, I'm highly enriched by your learned lecture, and thanks a lot, sir. Really, I'm obliged for that. Sir, thank you. Sir, some of the points which I want to bullet in front of you, just for your kind perusal. Number one, at one particular time you mentioned that the theory of karma, particularly the Nishkam karma, should be translated as deeds, not as action, which was very appropriate because I was also thinking about the issue since long. In fact, in the Greek philosophy, not only Heraclitus, once he talks about you cannot cross the same river twice and everything is flux. Other later Greek philosophers like Cynics, Cyrenaics and Stoics have also mentioned exactly the same thing. So the lecture actually resonated the idea already mentioned in the later Greek philosophy. Now, one question always arises in my mind, and I find it very problematic, and I just want to put the query in front of you. Sir, whenever we discuss anything, particularly in Indian context, somehow I feel that we are taking a safe way out by saying that, see, philosophy should not be translated as darshan, karma should not be translated as action, and religion should not be translated as dharma. Very well put, and I totally agree with the idea. But then the problem is this. Most of the time, if I am teaching a concept, the paper of philosophy of religion, I translate it as dharma darshan. Whenever I translate philosophy or the department of philosophy, I mention as the darshan shastra vibhaga. Now, the point is that it is not a choice, but it's a sort of compulsion by which we are sometimes bound to make such kind of translation. Now, this is a double binding on us because, number one, we do not want exact transliteration, but at some time we are compelled, we are forced to do that. So, can you suggest some way out? Should there be two departments? One, Department of Philosophy, and other, Department of Darshana Shastra. But then that would be ridiculous, I'm sorry to say that. Should we have two theories, theory of action and karmavad, but then it will be like deliberately complicating the issue. So which way should I take as a teacher of philosophy? I think you are the best person to suggest a way out. Should we make an airtight compartment? But if we do so, the problem would be how can we maintain a relationship, some sort of relationship between the Oriental and the Occidental viewpoint. And if we are not making an airtight compartment, then there is definitely going to a problem of ambiguity. So what would be your take on this? Thank you, sir.
It's a long question. Probably I don't have a single word answer, but I will make it very clear. Yesterday also in Utkal University I was telling philosophy is Darshana Shastra, but Bhagavan Krishna, he took Sudarshanam. The best Darshanam is what is given. So what is best Darshanam? It is Dharma, the right knowledge which gives you Dharma. And that knowledge that gives you Dharma is called the Dharmatnana. So the philosophy is not just a Darshana Shastram, it is Dharmatnana. Dharmatnanam is the righteous action, and that knowledge for doing a righteous action. So probably It is not darshanam alone. You want action to be with that. Dharma, jnana, karma is what is essential. That is what Bhagavad Gita talks about. The action with the philosophy, the darshana, together can be dharma, jnanam. Jnanam and dharma. Dharma is always in action. Righteous knowledge and action together can be dharma plus jnana together. So it becomes dharma jnana. Probably that is what I thought yesterday after talking to them. I was again thinking about what could be the basic thing which makes things to get into action. Therefore, both the Oriental, the Eastern and the Chinese and Japanese, Indian philosophy, everything together if you wanted to put them. The karma, dharma, put them together is what is essential. Otherwise, philosophy is normally Darshana Shastra, and I keep saying it is not entirely different from what was told by Krishna. So it is exactly what is Dharma Shastram which Krishna told. It is Sudarshanam. That is his weapon. So I don't think we should get out of the meaning and then say that we are not Darshana Shastram people. We are Darshana Shastram, but little more action oriented could be Dharma Jnana Darshana Shastram. That could be the best word to be used probably. I don't know. I don't have a very perfect answer for this, but at this point of time, this is what probably I can give. Thank you so much. We must have a deliberation and debate on this probably.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. Even Dr. Sukla wrote in the message box that very appropriately said. So he agrees to your way of thinking, and thank you so much for that. Well, we have many people here. Anybody with a question in mind, query, they may unmute and ask for Dr. DPS. Sir, I will have 30 seconds. In the meantime, so I have a question in mind. When you say that I don't recommend being happy and satisfied. I rather recommend being happy and dissatisfied. And this was the position that Socrates took. It is better to be Socrates dissatisfied. Well, it is at the intellectual level. Okay, but how do you suggest? What do you suggest to the people at the common level, at the ordinary level, the social level, to be happy being dissatisfied? What does that mean, being happy dissatisfied at the social level?
See, when I just answered the question, I am happy with the answer, but I am not satisfied. I am sure I have many more things to learn, discuss about it. That's why I said we should discuss. So, if I am not dissatisfied, if I am satisfied, what will happen? I will not learn from now. I am satisfied with my money, I will not work for money. If I am satisfied with my knowledge, I am not going to get knowledge more. If I am satisfied with my power and position, I will not aspire to become higher in position. I think the world develops only when there are unsatisfied people. The richest of the richest want to become more richer and richer. People in power want to become more powerful. And that is why the world is growing. So development is always part of the social reformation, social change, the community based well-being, ethical reasoning, everything we can talk only when there are people who are rich. You can be pragmatic, you can be social helping nature, you can run NGOs, you can have CSR only when there are people rich, right? So we need to have people who are rich, we need people who are powerful, we need people who have got a lot of money and power and position. We will need people who are richer also in knowledge and in wisdom. So I am sure a combination of all these is what makes the society greater and better. So unless and otherwise we are unsatisfied, dissatisfied, we will not aspire to gain more knowledge. So I am always unsatisfied, but at this moment, at this point of time, I am the happiest person. So be happy, be unsatisfied.
So thank you, sir. Well, at the intellectual level, but it was what Socrates even has gone for. But your recommendation is find happiness being dissatisfied. So
No.
whatever dissatisfaction is there, so be happy with the dissatisfaction.
But Professor Om, our ability to make everybody knowledgeable, educated is our basic purpose. See, otherwise this problem is there even in a voting and selecting people also. So our basic aim is education should be, that is why yesterday we had a topic in the Utkal University, education for transformation. So first educate them, make them to the highest level, and then start making them to think higher. That is why Rabindranath Tagore got a Nobel Prize, right? He was not talking at the ground level, he was always talking about higher level. People have to get down to that level to understand sometime.
What will happen, sir, if I wish somebody say, wish you are very happy and dissatisfied?
We have to get educated or give him a telephone number 950-20-38875. We will educate them.
No, sir, but what will happen if I give a message something like, wish you are very happy and dissatisfied? Like somebody
Yeah.
married and I say, wish you are happy and dissatisfied.
See, that is what the progress, that is what the development, that is when you will earn more. That when is that you will learn more. See, the life is for three purposes. Vedandago Brahmanaha Kshatriyo Vijayi Bhavet Vaishyo Dhana Samardha Shudra Sugam Apniyat. You want to be like a satisfied person, you are a Shudra. You are unsatisfied in your knowledge, you become a Brahmin. You are unsatisfied with your money, you become a Vaishya. You are unsatisfied with your power, you become a Kshatriya. You are satisfied with everything, you become a Shudra. You don't want development in your life. That is not enough. This is not mine. This is what Bhagavan himself advised. Bhishma advised Dharmaputra, our Vishnu Sahasranamam. Vedandago Brahmanaha Satchatriyo Vijayi Bhavet Vaishyo Dhana Samardaha Shudra Sugam Apniyat. Is it not that is dissatisfaction? You have to grave, you have to aspire. I want knowledge, I want knowledge, I want knowledge. There are a lot of people who are blind. They don't want to learn anything. We must make their eye open. Let them be highly educated. Let them be at whatever age. Probably doesn't matter. I have got a beautiful satsang with a lot of ladies. All of them are senior people, retired people. They are learning in the group now. It is not for earning money. Learning is enjoying. You must enjoy learning. Then you feel, yeah, there is a development. Today evening was great because we learned something. Are they sitting in the classroom to get some money? No. They are at the end of the class. I am sure all these philosophy sessions at the end of the day make them unsatisfied. They must realize I have more things to learn in my life. If every answer is given, you say that everything is simple in this world, don't learn anything. Come to me, I will give you a solution. No. See, dissatisfaction only has created knowledge. That is why Bhagavad Gita started with Arjuna Vishada Yogam. If Vishadam was not there, unhappiness was not there, dissatisfaction was not there, there would have been no transformation for Arjuna to get into Moksha Sannyasa Yoga. Your unsatisfied life is what makes you to become more spiritual. You look at people who have come to learn, all of them are unsatisfied at some point of time. They are unsatisfied with their position, they are unsatisfied with their money, they are unsatisfied with their knowledge. They will jump into learning. Jnanam will come, wisdom will come, devotion will come, karma will come.
Sir, I understand the dissatisfaction at the physical level, dissatisfaction at the mental level. Well, there will be satisfaction at the spiritual level, because somehow, is it good to die dissatisfied? I mean, somebody who has elevated to the spiritual height, maybe the masters that you are referring, the yoga masters who have elevated to the spiritual height, are they satisfied or still dissatisfied? Because the spiritual masters who have really had a darshana of God, who have really come in contact with God, and who had a darshana of God, or who see the totality, claim, I don't know, who claim to have seen the totality, are they still dissatisfied?
See, you are contradicting yourself by saying great spiritual masters are dissatisfied. So how did you recognize somebody as spiritual master when they themselves is dissatisfied? That means they are fake spiritual masters. No spiritual masters who are attained Kaivalyam. They have Atmiya Purusha. They have dissatisfaction in life because they have no desire, therefore no satisfaction, no dissatisfaction also. Understood? The time you say somebody is dissatisfied and he is a spiritual master, take him out of the mastership and put him in the dustbin. He is a fake. She is a fake. There are a lot of fake people around us. saying there is no measure for spirituality. There is no measure for spirituality. If somebody says I am a guru and add SAD before that, I don't call him a Satguru, I will call him a sad guru only. SAD is sad. And another day I found SAT guru. I said he is a sat guru. He is not a Satguru. See, these are all see, somebody is not ready to call himself a Sri. He calls Sri, 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 Sri. One is not enough. Sri Krishna himself only used one Sri. And his disciple wanted to use 10 Sris. It is unwanted decoration they are doing. And the stupid, useless, uneducated people recognize them as masters. Professor, you mentioned a beautiful quote. I have got people who have come out of such big trap, serving them for years, and found that nothing is happening there, it's only marketing. You tell me, do we have real gurus who at least quote one sloka in their talk? They are all great WhatsApp gurus. They come on Facebook, they come on WhatsApp, they will come on to politics, they will come on to grabbing unnecessary place and creating large infrastructure. How can you hold somebody as a sannyasi when he is worried about constructing large infrastructure? Their aim is not that. He should be a Sarvat Sangha Parityagi, na? I should not have any desire. Why he should have desire? We know people who are sannyasis or sannyasinis who will pay money to get the disciples, the name of disciples, with giving sari and drinks also, and make that large group there. They are all marketing people. They are all marketing people. You ask them who is this fellow, what is that they are saying? Nothing they will know. So India is selling spirituality in terms of useless marketing. That is where we should stop. So you contradicted yourself by saying a spiritual master is unsatisfied. No. Spiritual people are never unsatisfied. You should have. That is why I am from Himalayan tradition, Swami Rama. He was in the Shankaracharya Pidham. So what he did? I said, I am not supposed to be in the Pidham and ruling the sannyasis around me. I am quitting. And he left the Pidham. Only one sannyasi who got getting the Pidham of a Shankaracharya Mutt is one of the greatest position. Tell me one sannyasi was left that. No, they didn't leave. But Swami Rama left that and then said, I don't want this seat because that spoils my silence. I want to be silent. He left that and then started teaching silence. So it needs a lot of courage. And he is a spiritual man who is in position and who is controlling lot of land, lot of building, lot of disciples, dancing around a day to show and come on to the TV, giving advertisements. This is marketing. That is not spirituality. Spirituality doesn't have marketing. Somebody may do it on your behalf. That's okay. But you have to be genuinely, without having any interest in yourself, either physical, emotional, intellectual, social, spiritual. Having spiritual desire itself is a disqualification to become spiritual. I wrote a book, Life Made Simple, in which I wrote, you can never measure spirituality. It is there in this book, Life Made Simple. Being simply spiritual, being accidentally spiritual, being not sophisticated is spiritual. Why do you want a black cat around you when you are a Swamiji? You tell me, why do you want a Porsche car when you are a Swamiji? Why do you want a silk shirt when you are a Swamiji? No, it's not required. I get many calls, people ask, are you a Swami? I said, I am not a Swami. I am a Swami for everybody. Swami is who serves people, right? So I am a Swami in the context of serving people, not in the context of today's Swamiji. So it has been diluted, polluted totally. So let us not.
Thank you so much, sir, for your response and the take that
I think Ramakrishna Paramahamsa is the
only one. That is why he is called Paramahamsa.
Yeah.
And it is Vivekananda who made Ramakrishna great. So it is not that you should start yourself an ashram. Your disciple, the followers should start something for you. That is what is essential. Wonderfully said. Good example. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Dr. Bose and DrTPS. Thank you so much, sir, for your response and beautifully said. One thing, should I take this as something like this at the spiritual height? There is desire zero. So the question of satisfaction, dissatisfaction doesn't arise at all. So the questions are meaningless. The question of satisfaction, dissatisfaction is meaningless because they have totally transcended from this world, from the mind, from the body, from the mind. They have transcended everything. There is no question of satisfaction or
Now,
dissatisfaction.
I'll give you another easiest method. I am coming to professor's house and professor is having, will you have tea? I'll say, yes, you give me tea, I will have it. Shall I make a tea for you? I'll say, not required. So, I will have it, but I don't want to trouble you to get a tea for me. Do you mind having tea? Oh, no problem. If it is ready, I will have. Understood? So, I have no attachment, I have no bondage, I have no detachment. When you talk about detachment, there is an attachment. When you talk about Dvaitam, there is an Advaitam, Dvaitam. All this is complicating too much. This is what our problem is. So it is not desireless. It is not having bondage to the desire. That is why Sthita Pratna. Dukheshu Anudhikna Mana Sukheshu Vikata Spriha Vida Raga Bhaya Krodha Sthita. It doesn't mean I don't have anger, I don't have desire, I don't have affinity, I don't love people, I don't understand others' feelings. Everything is there. But I am not bounded by that. I have my liberty. I have my liberty. That liberty makes me out from all this. It is what is Kaivalya Avastha. There is nothing second to that word. Kaivalyam. Kaivalya Siddhi. Bhagavan Krishna himself says in Bhagavad Gita, what are the qualifications for you to have a Kaivalya Avastha? That's enough.
Very nicely said, sir. Again, I make a correction to myself. It's not desire zero there. It is freedom. It is freedom.
It's freedom. It's freedom.
It is freedom. It is freedom. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Well, Sri Kala P, Sri has something in mind. I request that you unmute because you were raising her hand. I think Sri Lekha P. I saw her raising her hand. Anybody having some issue in mind, and we have DrTPS. He is not available. Very often, and he is with us today, and many clarifications.
And Narayanji, I am always available on my telephone.
Thank you so much, sir, for your time. Thank you so much, sir.
Always, sir.
I avoided, during your visit to Bhubaneswar also, I avoided because you might be busy. That's why I kept on messaging you. It's only when I felt, it is high time I should talk to you.
Always there.
I only called. Thank you. Because I didn't want to disturb you. Anyway, somebody here in the group, any question, they are welcome. Because your questions actually bring in a lot of things to learn. Because as DrTPS says, honestly says, he wants to learn, and we learn when he speaks. So that's the.
I think we must have a good time for Pramod ji for concluding it, Professor Pramod.
Yes, we are moving to him. Okay, only when this list is exhausted, people will not complain that we had something in mind and we were ignored. So to avoid that problem, let us clear all people, then we will go.
Shall I ask one simple question?
Yes, sir.
When we are talking about domain, can we just make this type of watertight compartments that in the Oriental situation it is intrinsic, and in the Occidental, as Shukla was taking, that is extrinsic. So you are talking about intrinsic and extrinsic. So far as the Indian and Western domain is concerned. So if I have got you right, so what is react on it?
So what is the question? I didn't get.
When we are talking about domain, the domain of our Indian and the Oriental, this is intrinsic, and whereas in the Occidental and the Western, it is extrinsic.
Yeah.
So can we make such a distinction?
Yes, what you said is exactly correct. We have to be on exactly understand what culture, what philosophy, what sort of situation they had. Otherwise, we will have always problem. Ultimately, it is all the reality, the karma, action what we do, right? So, the path to the truth what we have is not the path to the truth which they have. The ethics what we have is not the ethics what we have. If at all somebody has to call it a spiritual goal, our liberation, moksha, nirvana is liberty. For them, it is a humanitarian life with nature and serenity is maybe for them. That is why there is a conflict and contradiction. The cosmic order which we have is a cyclic. For them, it's like flowing. You may not have a next janma sort of a thing. So when we explain the basically for the temporary, for the time being, it is one and the same, but for a later goal it becomes too expanded. So once the difference is understood, we know that it is cyclic for us, but for them it is a flowing chain. That's all the difference probably.
Thank you so much, sir. So before moving to our admin, Dr. Das, let us move to Vrindavan Mahapatra, sir, because this will be the last question, then we'll move to Dr. Das. Vrindavan, sir, well, you had some question in mind, because I saw you on the camera and you had some question in mind. Please, this will be the last question. Yes.
Sir, am I audible to you, sir?
Yes,
Sir,
yes,
you're
yes.
audible, sir.
Sir, namaskar.
Namaskar.
Really, you have explained today's topic that karma, domain and dynamism very nicely. Really very excellent. Sir, when we are talking about Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, then what is the difference between staying in India and staying in America? I feel no difference. One thing. Sir, another question I want, another answer I want to know from you that when you are talking about dharma, artha, kama and moksha, dharma relates to duty or a regulative principle of human life. Number one question. Number two, that when to Ranjit sir, I am asking him that why did he demotivated his son to go outside? When we are talking about the Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, it is not correct what I think.
No, I am sure I agree with you, Professor Mahapatraji. I explained the same way. People should go abroad, nothing wrong in that. Right?
Okay.
Nothing wrong. See, why don't people go? It's not a brain drain because we have got a lot of people. That's why I said it's like, the ocean where water goes up, it will come back to us again. Wherever they go, if they are patriotic, they are worried. I don't mind, my children need not stay in my house. Let them go to different part of the country and then work. But always they should have an affinity towards my family, my life, my parents and all that. Similarly, when people can go abroad and then make money, but the cultural erosion should not happen in their mind. The exploration of the natural activity, affinity which they have towards their country, towards their parents should happen. So Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam doesn't mean that it is my wife, my family, my life, my teacher, my guardian, my parents. It should be the whole world. So the world is our Kutumbam. Nothing wrong. But I must think about where I got my knowledge, where I got my janma, where is my karma dharma, where I had my bondage. And that heritage which I have got, that spirituality which I got, that learning lessons from my childhood, if gets me a root here and you are not uprooted from there, probably you are not misplaced. Anytime you can come back. If you have that feeling, you are great. But what happens to most of the people, this generation will go there. We call them at different generations. I belong to baby boomers generation. They have a generation X and there is a millennium generation and generation Z. The problem with the generation Z is they are uprooted from here. They don't have the tradition. So therefore, they have the DNA of the Indian, but the culture doesn't get approached to them. In that way, they will become a mismatch there. So there is lot of conflict in them. If they have no conflict, they are always ready to come back to the country. They have a activity which is happening here. The culture is there. The tradition is there. They have learning all that what we have. I am sure there is no conflict. You can be any part of the world. That is what should happen. So we must encourage people to go out of all the places, but keep the tradition, patriotism. Think about your mother. You may see anybody in the world as your mother, but don't forget your mother. That's more essential. That's it.
Thank you so much, sir. Very beautifully said. Very beautifully said. So, another question in the recent time I had been listening to a lecture where I could gather the message, and here I think it fits. The dynamism in karma lies in knowing why you do what you do. if you know that, why you do what you do, that is the, I think, the real breaking point to life. Okay, seeing the various challenges to life, every step of life, because you are knowing why you do what you do. So if you are clear in why you are doing something, what you are doing, many challenges, many problems in life will be solved. And this is how we can live life.
Where, when, why, how, for whom I am doing, that determines my objective and scope.
So we had a beautiful.
Please, I have asked another question, another clarification, sir, from you, sir. Dharma relates to duty or regulative principle of the human life?
See, you talked about Artha, Dharma, Kama, Moksha. Many people explain in a different style. I like to explain it Kama, Artha, Dharma, Moksha. Everything starts with a desire. I have a desire to go somewhere, I don't have money. What I do is I steal. The Artha is what satisfy my desire. If I have to go somewhere, I don't have money, I have to get somebody who sponsor me. My Artha can be my knowledge, my Artha can be my power, my Artha can be my position. If all these are not there, still I wanted to go, I will steal with somebody. So that karma, Artha which I am earning can be dharmic or adharmic. If I do in dharmic way, I will be peaceful and happy. If I do in adharmic way, I steal money, go to Sri Lanka or Singapore for a sightseeing, I am sure I have to come back, I will be caught by police. So that which I have to enjoy will never happen. If my Artha is not with the dharmic way, I will never become blissful. So moksha is not that happiness which I temporarily get. Moksha is that permanent happiness which I get in this world. So what is more important is my happiness, my blissfulness, my enjoyment makes me happy, not temporary. I should never have a situation, oh, I should not have done it, should not be my thoughts. I must always feel, oh, whatever I have done is great. Pat on your back. If I can do that as a dharmic person, I am sure Kama, Artha, Dharma, Moksha becomes the path of Bharatiya Siddhanta. Beautiful question.
Thank you so much, sir. So we had a very beautiful session. Now let us move to a beautiful question answer session, and very beautiful responses we had from DrTPS. Highly path breaking, and showing the ways how to deal with challenges in life. The karmic way, the real sense of understanding what karma is. And let us move to now Dr. Pramod Das for his comments in inquiries of the talk of Dr.
Thank you.
Namaskar, sir. Please.
Thank you, Dr. Rao. We all appreciate the women and the dynamism of the DPS. We all noticed that the domain of his knowledge and the way he is speaking since 2 hours non-stop, and we are asking questions one after another. We should be very much sympathetic. Anyway,
Still fresh, sir. Still fresh. Still looking fresh. And that is
Yes.
the dynamism.
that is dynamism. The topic was given by me, karma, domain and the dynamism. Very aptly and very honestly, Sukumarji explained that the entire discussion that we made this evening, that can be summarized in 1, 3, 4 sentences. Domain is a sphere, scope, and dynamism is the person. Chemistry. What is the sphere? That is the preconditions, that is the determining factors of our being. That is given to us in what situation we are created. I am creating what, that is not important. In which situation I am being created. My parents, that is the person of futures. My surroundings, my all these things are given to me. Prarabdha, the karmas that are not fulfilled yet. We have to accept our conditions. This is the domain. because we have to stand somewhere, we have to start somewhere. We have, that is the asset for us. So karma begins from a point that we should not, that means we should not have a complaining attitude that I don't have this, I don't have that, therefore I could not do this. I should not have any excusing attitude or escaping attitude. We should accept our parabha, we should accept what we have at the present. This is the domain. This is the field of our psychology. This is the field of our biological existence. This is the field of our spiritual existence. We have to accept that field. But the story does not end. By Purusartha, by self-effort, we can make our destiny. That is dynamism. What I can become. Becoming is dynamism. Being is domain. I have my being, I have my existence. I have no this is Shraddha. This is Shraddha, this is love. I accept my existence as the prasada. It is given to me. It is a divine gift to me. I accept it. I accept my parents, I accept everything that is given to me by Ishvara. This is Shraddha. I love my being, I love my existence. This is the prerequisite of doing any karma. This is the minimum qualification of the karma yoga. If Arjuna is given to a situation to fight, he should come to the right, he should rise to the occasion. Yes, I shall fight because this is my duty in this particular situation. I should not have any complaint, any excuse. So we have to accept the changing situations too. If situations are changing, we have to tune our minds to the situations. This is called rationality. Otherwise, we are not educated. Number one. Number two. Therefore, this is happiness. The happiest man is he who can accept his path, but he should be dissatisfied. Because whatever efforts he is accepting to reach the perfection, he is always found imperfect. Because perfection is yet to be achieved. It's yet to be achieved. It's yet to be achieved. Because nobody has seen proof. So nobody is totally is the totality, it's the complete personality. Purushottama, nobody is the Purushottama. I know that I am Aham Brahmasmi, I am that pure consciousness, but I am trying to do that. Therefore I am always dissatisfied with my acquired energy. This is the meaning of dissatisfaction. If I am satisfied, the story ends. The efforts end. That is equal to death. If I am satisfied, there is no tomorrow, no next moment, no energy, no motivation. Everything ended there. So I am happy with my paratha, but I am dissatisfied with my self-effort, with my purusartha, because I want to be still better, still better, still better, and that is life. So karma starts with its own domain. We have to accept the karmic domain, but we should be dissatisfied with the karmic dynamism, but it is still flowing till we get liberation. This much I shall say. I totally agree with the Dr. Marji and entire discussion initiated here by all the great people present here. This was a very wonderful session and we all enjoyed. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Grateful.
Thank you, Dr. Das. Well, good comments. Well, that people out here might have really enjoyed the lecture.
One thing, Dr. Rao, one thing. If you take the examples of domains, whatever we discussed here, the social condition, the economic condition, the political condition, all these things are also our domain. We can't have that, our nationality, all